This newspaper article addresses many of the recurring themes centered around children and youth and their excessive use and knowledge of technology. It states that smartphones are becoming more and more common, and that youth of this generation look at their phones on average about 150 times a day. I believe this especially when compared to how often I find myself on my own cell phone throughout the day. It's easy to get addicted to our phones, and while it can at times be problematic, children use these social media accounts as they see it as one of the only outlets they have control over in their lives. The article links the number of American children and youth who have attempted harm to themselves with the rising popularity of social media. The article notes that it is not 100% sure that smartphone usage is indeed linked to the rising rate of teen suicide, which in a way juxtaposes what Boyd states in her book when she states that there doesn't seem to be any real link to the dangers teens face and the rise of social media, while this article suggests that there is. The article also presents an idea that adolescents who spend more time on social media, using Snapchat, Facebook, or Instagram on a smartphone, for instance, were more likely to agree with remarks such as, "The future often seems hopeless." But those who had less screen time were less likely to report mental troubles. I found this quite odd and asked myself how they could even come to such an extreme conclusion. What demographic of teens were they surveying, and in what context? The article is quite short, yet it spends most of its time talking about the negative connotations social media and technology has on children's lives. It just then touches on the fact that social media might not always be so damning, as if the author is just trying to cover their bases. What's missing, and what I think Boyd has done really nicely in her book, is to describe the positive ways that social media allows youth a space for socialization with their peers and that they're well aware of the dangers and essentially have it all under control. It alludes to the notion that social media is what users bring to it. Their attitudes shape their experiences, both on and offline, and that youth are well aware of what they put online, why they do so, and how. In terms of relating this back to the UNCRC, a few articles came to mind. One was Article 13, which states that children have the right to find out things and share their thoughts and opinions with others as long as these views do not harm anyone in the process. This is exactly how children and youth use apps like Twitter and Facebook to share their opinions on what occurs in their peer groups, in their communities, and more broadly around the world. Article 16 also allows children the freedom to selectively post online only what they wish to share with others and what they want people to see about in their own lives. Lastly, Article 17 gives children the right to get information that's important to their well-being from the many resources which provide news to understand the world around them. I know from my own experiences that social media is my main outlet for news, and this is probably the same for many children. To only focus on the negative qualities of social media and technology in the lives of children is to negate the prime reason children engage on these platforms, to help shape and understand their identity in a mediated network space they can almost call their own, where they have the agency and the power to express themselves in ways that are important to them and where they face minimal surveillance from adults.